I'm just getting ready to put more mud up here. The key is, before you put more mud, look at it and see if there's any high edges. And I'm seeing just a few high edges, and I've got my construction light still on. And I'm just going to kind of wipe down where I see the high edges. Because if I leave that, then that's that much more mud I've got to put up there on this next coat. I'm going to put a tight skim coat of the Quickset on there, and it's not going to take very long for it to dry because it's not going to be very thick. So I'm going to decide to go ahead and do that. Okay, I've been off this for a good half hour or so, and I've used 40-minute mud, and most of it's dry. It is still pretty wet right in here, I see. I think I'm going to let it go just a hair longer. I could probably cover it right now if I wanted. And see, this is the only patch that I'm going to do a tight skim on. I don't need to do it on anything else. This one happened to have more mud on it than all these small little patches, you know. These small patches, I can just run over them just real quick right before I put the all-purpose joint compound. But I'm going to put a tight skim of the Quickset over this, and I'm looking at it, and it looks pretty good now. Anything high, you can kind of scrape off a little bit, and this next bit is going to float on there nice and tight. That's how I like to do patches. Some people just put the all-purpose joint compound over this at this point. But I don't like doing that because I can still see a couple areas that are indentated just slightly. When I put the Quickset on, those are going to go away. If I put the all-purpose joint compound on, if they're too deep, they're going to show when that all-purpose joint compound dries. Because once I put the all-purpose joint compound on here, I'm going to put one tight skim coat over this, okay? I don't have to put a whole lot of that on there. Just stick with me. You'll see how these patches go. And know that if I can do it, of course you can do it. It's time to finish up this patch. I've got just a little bit more Quickset. Situate my ladder properly. And I'm just going to wipe over this nice and thin. And this time, there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to wipe it on nice and flat. And I'm going to go over the entire patch area. And it's going to take out any imperfections on here this time. I don't have to hold my blade just like how I was showing you last time on this. It's just going to be flat. Okay. Wipe my blade off on each pass on my pan. Oops. And I'm going to get it nice and smooth so that when the all-purpose joint compound gets on there, it's going to go on there nice. Okay, so if you get any slight imperfections with this, that's okay. You're not going to get very many though, are you? So if you're unsure of your patch, just put a little bit more mud on it. And I'm calling this a tight skim. Okay. That's why I like my construction light so much. I can see exactly where I need to go. Because I've got that light up here. I can see if I need to put any more mud up here or not. Keep wiping off your blade each time you make a pass. That way you're assured of not getting any on the blade back on here as you're cleaning it off. You know? Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to have to let that dry before I put the all-purpose joint compound on there. Okay, now this is not going to take that long to dry because this was called a tight skim. I don't have much mud up here at all. Okay, there's your tight skim coat. We're now ready for the all-purpose joint compound once that dries.